Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. This is the Sacramento Report, and I'm Steve Swat. My guest this segment is Betty Yee, who's a member of the State Board of Equalization. Thanks for being back with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
For our viewers who may not understand what the board does, you are really the administrators of the sales and use tax,
Yes.
among other things.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to talk, I thought we'd revisit one of last year's big legislative dust-ups, the so-called Amazon bill.
Yes.
There's a brave new world out there in terms of online purchasing.
There is. Last year, the legislature and the governor enacted a bill to require online retailers such as Amazon to collect tax on purchases made to California consumers. And the bill was essentially put on hold for a year to allow the federal government to hopefully enact a law that could affect all 50 states. And the federal government has not done that yet. Our Congress has not done that yet. So our California law will become effective September 15th.
I know at the time Amazon was trying to sort of end run that legislation, the new law.
Yes.
They severed their relationships with their California affiliates,
Yes.
but then a compromise came
came through, and so in fact many of the affiliates are back doing business alongside with Amazon, and the bill also exempted some of the smaller affiliates so that if they make sales of $1 million or less per year, that they wouldn't be exempted from the law.
Now we should say that now all along, technically, if you go online and you make a purchase, you are supposed to be paying a tax, use tax.
It's called the use tax. It's a
but you're supposed to voluntarily do it.
That's right. It's the consumer's responsibility. And under the new law, it will be easier for consumers because the online retailer now will just assess and collect the tax and remit it to the state.
Can you give us a rough idea how much income, tax revenue the state of California has been losing because of the lack of volunteer self-reporting?
Sure. It's probably in the order of magnitude of several $100 million. And what we are going to try to do is, again, to really take the obligation off of the consumer so that the retailer can pick it up, just like any local retailer would do if you walk into a store.
And we should say, in terms of public policy, one of the major reasons, besides bringing in some more money, a couple $100 million
Yes.
a year to California, one of the other major reasons for this legislation was to level the playing field between the online retailers who were getting a break and the brick and mortar retailers
Absolutely.
who were suffering a bit.
Absolutely. The brick and mortars, what they were experiencing is consumers coming in, really looking at the product, asking a lot of questions, finding out all the information about the product, and then going home and getting online and shopping for it without having to pay the tax.
One of the arguments all along was that this would be too difficult for Amazon, other retailers to comply with the law. That doesn't seem to have happened, correct?
No, I think what's happening is they are complying with the law in other states. And yes, California has a more complex tax system. We have state rates, local rates, different jurisdictions have different rates. But you know, with technology today, we think it will actually be quite easy to comply.
So this new system starts mid-September.
September 15th, yes.
And so
we will start to register these retailers.
Right,
Yes.
and so when folks make online purchases, the taxes will be taken out or will be added automatically.
Yes, yes, and the consumer should be sure they look at their bill and that is essentially done. If not, it still is the responsibility of the consumer to calculate the tax and to pay it to the state, but we're hoping that the retailers will comply.
And it's also, I understand, you know, up to the consumer when you make an out-of-state purchase.
Yes.
If they don't have a sales tax, you are supposed to self-report
Absolutely.
and send the government some money.
Yes, yes, and particularly in the summer when people are traveling on vacation, if you're bringing anything back into the state, you are responsible for paying the use tax on that purchase on the product that you bring in from out of state.
You don't foresee any glitches as the system starts up?
There'll probably be some challenges with respect to these retailers who really don't have a presence in California, are going to get used to the law in California. We will work with them starting September 15th, and we hope that it will be successful.
All right, Betty Yee, the Board of Equalization, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks also to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. You can also see this interview on YouTube and on My Government on Demand.